Hey guys, it's Miss Lauren from the Lawrence Branch, and for today's STEAM program, we're going to talk about what animals do in the winter. So the season is winter and it's getting very cold outside, and maybe you make some changes in what you do. You might wear a hat and gloves and a heavier coat, and maybe you stay inside more. Well, animals do different things in the winter too. So today we're going to talk about the changes that the animals have to make to survive the colder temperatures and the changes in the places that they live. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is hibernation. Have you ever heard of that word? Some animals hibernate in the winter. Do you know what it means? It means that they take a really long nap. Here's my book about hibernation. Hibernating animals take a long, sleepy rest. Look at the little chipmunk. They breathe slowly, their heart beats slowly too. So before an animal hibernates, it has to get ready. So animals will eat extra food before they hibernate. Bears get very fat in the fall. They don't eat much during the winter. Some animals store up food near their beds. Chipmunks wake up and search for a snack of hidden nuts. Then they go back to sleep. Some animals hibernate in different ways. So here's our bear, and you know that bears hibernate. Black bears hibernate alone in their dens. Their thick fur keeps them warm. Now look at these. Do you know what they are? Bats. Now, groups of bats hibernate together. They hang upside down close together to stay warm. So some animals hibernate by themselves and others hibernate in groups to keep warm. Animals hibernate in a pattern. So first in the fall, they start to get ready. They get all their food ready. They eat a lot of food. Then they'll find a den. That's where they're going to stay for all of winter. And they hibernate and they go into their deep sleep. And then as it gets warmer and spring comes, they leave their den and they do the whole thing all over again next fall. So a fun project that you can do to demonstrate hibernation is to build a den or a cave for a hibernating bear. You can use a bear figure if you have one, fox, rabbit, any little toy figure. What you're going to do is build a protective home for them where they can sleep during the cold temperatures of the winter. So you can use anything you have. If you have toothpicks and marshmallows, you can use those to build something. I used Duplos. You can also use Legos, whatever you have in your house to try to build a protective shelter for your animal during the winter. So we learned about hibernation. Some animals actually migrate, and this means that they move, usually from a cold temperature to a warmer temperature in the winter. In this book called Amazing Animal Journeys by Chris Packham, this talks about animals and how they migrate. Every year, billions of animals move from one part of our planet to another. These are called Bewick swan. They migrate south in the winter to avoid the cold and to be sure of finding enough food to survive until spring. You might see animals do this. Canada geese are a lot of them that you might see flying around nowadays. They're trying to get away from the cold temperatures up here in New Jersey and to go somewhere warmer until it's warm again. Here's a big creature. This is a blue whale. Now, a blue whale migrate to warmer tropical waters to give birth. So the young whales don't get too cold. But don't worry, the little ones grow quickly, and in the spring, the whole family heads back for a massive meal. This book called Amazing Migrations talks about how caribou, also known as reindeer, spend their summer in the Arctic. These North American deer love to graze on grass. In summer, there is plenty to eat. As winter approaches, they migrate south for food and shelter. The caribou would not survive the harsh, freezing winter in the Arctic. In the spring, they return north for females to give birth. So they go south as well. We're going to play a little game to see if you might be able to guess what the animal is from the tracks that they might create. And you can see the tracks so easily in the snow, which is why this is on a white background, because you can actually see them when you go outside. So this animal is something that you probably see around your house. Any guesses? Can you think of what it might be? It's a bunny rabbit. It's rabbit's feet. They have very long feet. How about this one? You may see these animals around your house as well. This is the footprint of a cat. Now I have these around my house and you might too. Look at those feet. Look, it almost looks like a hand, doesn't it? That is the footprint of a raccoon. Good job. How about this one? I bet you're gonna guess this one. Look at these feet. Aren't they so little and cute? This is the footprint of a bird. I have a lot of these in my backyard as well. Have you seen those? It kind of looks like a hoof. This is the footprint of a deer. And our last one, you may see this if you have this animal in your house. Look at that paw print. That is the paw print of a dog. Now the cool thing about winter is that you can actually see the animal's tracks even better in the snow. So for this project, what I did was create stencils of the animal's hoof prints or paw prints, and then you can actually color them in. Now I did it on white paper so it looks like snow, and you can see this guy's actually a mountain lion. Hopefully we're not seeing him around here. And then the deer tracks as well. That's a fun project you can do. Okay, so in the winter, animals hibernate, animals migrate, and finally animals adapt and just stay in the environment that they're in. So some animals change color and some of them grow more fur. So let's look at this book called Cool Camouflage. We're gonna talk about the fox. Now this is an Arctic fox, and in the summer, his coat is kind of brown, so he blends in. So camouflage means that you blend in, so you really can't see them that well. So in the summer, the fox's coat camouflages very well with his surroundings. In the winter, his fur actually turns white. Can you see that there? What is he camouflaging against there? The snow, right? So he turns white, so he looks just like the snow, and then he can hide better. So now I'm going to show you a quick and easy project that you can do to demonstrate how animals adapt and change the color of their fur. So here we have our rabbit, and I just did a silhouette, so it's all black, but rabbits are usually maybe gray or brown in the summer, but in the winter, when they want to blend in with the snow, they turn white. So one thing you could do is just to take cotton balls and cover up your rabbit completely, or you could use white paint. So I'm just going to dip my cotton ball into the paint and cover our rabbit. So during the winter time, the rabbit's fur turns white and you can't even really see him. So cool. Now in this book called 20 Fun Facts About Mammal Adaptations, polar bears will actually put on fat. So polar bears may have 4.5 inches of fat on their body in the winter. They live in the Arctic, and to stay warm, they have fur. It's even on the bottoms of their feet. Their coats appear white to blend in, but their skin is black to soak up the sun when it's out. So in the winter, when it's cold, the polar bears will bulk up and put on an extra layer of fat to help keep them warm. Some Arctic animals, such as polar bears, seals, walruses, gain a thick layer of fat called blubber to help keep them warm when the temperatures get really cold, and especially in that icy water. So what you'll need is a container of icy cold water, some Ziploc bags, and some vegetable shortening. This is going to be our fat. The first thing you can do is open up your Ziploc bag, put your hand in it, try to cover up as much as possible, and then dip your hand in the water and feel how cold it is. It's so cold. Now here we have no layer. It's just our skin with a thin bag over it, so you can feel the temperature really well. That's very cold. Now to simulate the added layer of fat that some of these animals in the Arctic have, we are going to use our vegetable shortening. So what you're going to do is just take your spoon and scoop it out and place it into another bag. Okay, once you have a good layer in there, what you're going to do is take your third Ziploc bag. We're going to put our hands inside, and then we're going to place it into the bag with the vegetable shortening in it. Now, as you can see, what this is doing is adding a layer in between your skin, the bag, and the water. So let's see, when we place that in, you can barely feel it. It doesn't feel cold at all. Pretty cool. So this is our blubber glove that we created, and you can try it at home to see what the bears deal with when they're in the Arctic.